Hi, chat. Hey. Hold on. You ready? Hold on. Is everyone so ready? And oh, bam. I've been lying to you this entire time. This is actually what I look like. Everything about me has been a scam.
Hey, chat.
Look, I have my guy here. Everyone, look, it's your favorite mod. If any of my other mods are in chat, I didn't say that.
Oh no.
I didn't say that.
Hi, guys.
I love you guys.
I'm Jules.
Hi, chat.
I'm normally a mod.
I kidnapped that guy. Not actually. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke.
I drove here.
That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke.
I
There.
drove here.
She is here on her own will.
Am I?
Yeah.
Hi.
Who's here? Hi.
Hey.
Hi. I'm Love.
You didn't even see your head.
Oh yeah, you can't. I'm doing the squats now.
Yeah, like my fingers.
You can hear my nails when I do that. You can also hear like
I can see it. There's two screens. This is the camera,
Ooh.
and then
Sorry.
there's you can see the actual stream right there, and then
Yeah, we can see the stream only 2 places. It would be 3 places. Is it Frankenstein's monster or Frankenstein? It's like the book. I feel like my little tiny copy of Frankenstein.
Small.
It's really, really tiny, and the letters are even smaller. That's upside
Why
down.
did you show it upside down?
It's upside down. Here, read this. What's that say?
Bet you won't know.
Congratulations.
You
can't
dyslexic.
read. I've now diagnosed you with dyslexia, and that's how that works. Yay! Story time.
It's bookmarked with a sticker.
It's a little. Look how cute it is. Hold my spot, because that's where I am.
You're on
actually.
chapter 2.
The little Mothman clown.
Are you starting at chapter 2?
No, I'm gonna start it.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, please, can you take me with you?
Yeah, that's how that works. You
Can
can.
you please take me with you?
That's how that works. You can now be a demigod.
I'd love to go.
Congratulations, diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexia, and now you're a demigod. Yay!
You're certified.
You're a certified demigod. Turn the B on. Ta-da! Now we have another light. Does it show up on cam? No, it doesn't. It's blocked by your POV.
Whoops.
Wow, he's really bright.
You can see it on there. But 100% Delulu? Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we love people that are delulu. Everyone here lives in. It takes me a second because
There's
I
stream
can't
delay.
see stream up there, but I can see stream delay over here where I can see chat. And now look at this is Jules now. When Jules goes over there, this is Jules. We have the little craft thing here.
Baby
Wait,
sensory.
where am I? Here.
There you go.
This is your baby sensory video.
That's gonna be me.
Yeah, so Jules is gonna play Minecraft over here while I'm reading. And this is your baby sensory video. Because I know all of you are, you have small retention spans. What is it called?
Attention span?
Yeah, you attention small.
Attention equals small.
Attention equals small. So this is your baby sensory video.
I don't know what I'm gonna be doing. I'm just gonna play Minecraft.
You play Minecraft?
Yeah.
Play parkour?
Probably.
You're good at parkour. I'm not good at parkour. I also love that I'm just like standing here. Do you like my Tinkerbell shirt? Yeah, I also figured like some of you would probably be doing other things because that's usually how this works.
The body doubling.
We love body doubling.
Pretty good.
See, this is the whole. Actually, hold on, I'm gonna sit here. That's the whole reason I face revealed. Did you know that?
For body
So
doubling?
I could do body doubling streams. Because I love watching. I can write better than Mary Shelley. I think probably. I would love to see a like. Oh, Sparkbird's playing. I love Sparkbird. A like retelling of Frankenstein that isn't, like is. Be alone.
Dumb it down for his dumb one.
Dumb it down for me! Me specifically!
Just for you.
Just for me!
Me in the wrong spot.
Yeah?
My bone.
Oh, that hurts. What was I saying? I don't remember. Oh, yeah. Understandable. Anyways, wanna go play Minecraft?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna start reading.
Have fun. Have fun, chat.
I can't
With
actually read very well, so don't knock over my chat. The setup for stream today is very precarious. What's the word that I'm looking for?
Curious.
Yeah, that word. It's very scary. I don't know how well you can hear. Wait, say something. No, nothing. You can't hear Jules at all. Oh, hold on. I actually know how to fix that. Hold on. How do I? Hold on, now say something.
Hello.
Hey, okay, now you can hear Jules. I fixed it. I'm really good at this chat. I'm cold. Do you want me to turn the fan
I
on?
know it's gonna be hot though, so I'm trying to enjoy
This
it for now.
experience I have with Frankenstein is watching an OSP summary video. So, I got really hyper fixated on the Frankenstein the musical. And that's like my Frankenstein hyperfixation. That's like the I just looked to my left and there's a bunch of mirrors and I saw my face 3 times and it scared me. That's all.
Yay. I'm free.
We have book. Is everyone I'm gonna put my headphones on so I can hear what song is playing. And I might ask you to change it at some point. How does sound? BT dubs. BD way is what I just almost said.
BD way. I mean, it works.
BD way. I'm glad I didn't say like BTW way. How many books have I read this year? Don't know. I literally want to say only like. No, I have to have read more. Because I read the whole. I read 3 at least. Granted, I don't remember anything ever. That's 4, 3. So then this. I was reading like in full. I was reading The Count of Monte Cristo today, but like finished books. Would you reread any of those 3? Yeah, I read the whole A Girl's Guide to Murder or whatever it's called. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I would reread those. I also have like a bunch of like history books that I've read that I really like. Of course, I'm a history. That's not surprising. But yeah, like finished reading, I think only like 3. Because I read, but I haven't had a lot of time. I think clean book is spotless or worn and battered. I feel like a loved book is one that's read. So one that looks a little more like beaten up. Not like beaten up, not like like pages torn out of it or like a dog eating it. But like pages that you can tell have been bent or like the spine is cracked, stuff like that.
I like floppy.
Sloppy pages?
Floppy.
What? Floppy. I thought you said sloppy pages. I love going to like bookstores and seeing if like books are annotated. I buy books sometimes that are annotated only because they're annotated. If there's a copy set, at least they took time to read it more. Yeah, that's cool. I like stuff like that, I like stuff that you can tell there's a story behind why someone had it. That's what most of my stuff is. Stuff that there's a story behind. Except for this little guy. I don't think you guys have ever seen this little guy. Look at him.
Oh, wait, we need to switch. Mine's over there now.
Oh. That's also not my water. Is that my water? That might be my water. Here, I'll trade. Thanks.
That's smooth.
Yeah, look at this little guy. Where is he? He's a little guy playing mushroom drum. I think he's so goofy looking. He's hanging out over here. I love just like staring into the camera because I can't actually see myself unless I look this way. Can you tilt that screen just slightly, by the way? The only one I can see.
This one?
That no, yours. The monitor.
This way?
Yeah, tilt it towards me. Just go the other way. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. There was a glare. All right. Is everyone ready to read? Should I turn on I'm gonna turn on non-word. Can you go to Spotify? Can you okay, so go down there. No, up. Down. Nope, up one. Up one. Let's shovel on that. Okay. And skip this. Skip that too. It was the same song twice. Yeah, okay, that's better. Yeah, thank you. Alright, is everyone ready? Are you so ready to hear about Frankenstein? I want to get past this. No one needs to read the foreword. Alright. Whoa! That's a weird noise. There's like wiggly wobbly noise happening in my ears. Alright. Do you have your AirPods? Oh, I was good. Whoa, hold on. Can you turn off the noises by any chance? the game noises? Because I know chat can't hear it, but I can. And so the noises just scared me so bad.
I turned.
Yeah, I don't hear it. Thank you! Alright. Letter 1. To Mrs. Saville, England. St. Petersburg, December 11th, 17 blank. You will rejoice to hear that no disaster has accompanied the commencement of an enterprise which you have regarded with such evil forebodings. I arrived here yesterday, and my first task is to assure my dear sister of my welfare and increasing confidence in the success of my undertaking. I am already far north of London, and I walk in the streets of Petersburg, St. Petersburg. That's just like in Anastasia. I feel a cold northern breeze play upon my cheeks, which braces my nerves and fills me with delight. You understand this feeling? This breeze, which has traveled from regions towards which I am advancing, gives me a foretaste of those icy climes. Inspired by this wind of promise, my daydreams become more prevalent and vivid. I try in vain to be persuaded that the pole is set in that the pole is the seat of frost and desolation. It ever presents itself to my imagination and regions of beauty and light. There, Margaret, the sun forever visible, its broad disk just skirting the horizon and diffusing a perpetual splendor. There, for with your leave, my sister, I will put some trust in preceding navigators. There, snow and frost are banished, and sailing over a calm sea, we may be wafted to a land surpassing in wonders and in every region hitherto discovered on the habitable globe. Its productions and features may be without example, as phenomena of heavenly bodies undoubtedly are in those undiscovered solitudes. What may not be expected in a country of eternal light? I may there discover the wondrous power which attracts the needle and may regulate 1,000 celestial observations that require only this voyage to render their seeming eccentricities consistent forever. I shall satiate my adherent curiosity with the sight of a part of a world never before visited, and may tread a land never before imprinted by the foot of man. These are enticements that are sufficient to conquer the fear of danger or death. and to include me to commence this laborious voyage with the joy a child feels when he embarks in a little toy boat, or in a little boat, sorry, with his holiday mates on the expedition of a journey up his native river. But supposing all these conjectures to be false, cannot contest the incest, inestimable, in
Mhm.
Inestimable. Please read that word. Uh, estimable?
I think inestimable.
Inestimable?
Yeah.
That's a stupid word. I don't know what that means. Benefit which I shall confer to on all mankind. Those the last generation, by discovering a passage near the pole to those countries, reach which at present so many months are requisite. Yep, that's how you read. Or by ascertaining the secret of the magnet, which, if at all possible, can only be effected by an undertaking such as mine. These reflections have dispelled the adjugation with which I began my letter, and I feel my heart glow with enthusiasm which elevates me to heaven, for nothing contributes so much to tranquilize the mind as a steady purpose and point on which the soul may fixate its intellectual eye. This expedition has been the favorite dream of my early years. I have read the Ardor, the accounts of various voyages which have been made in the prospect of arriving at the North Ocean through the seas which surround the pole. You may remember that a history of all voyages made for purpose of discovery composed of the whole of our good Uncle Thomas's library. My education was neglected, yet I was passionately fond of reading. These volumes were my study day and night, and my familiarity with them increased that regret in which I felt as a child on learning my father's dying indication was forbidden had forbidden my uncle to allow me to embark on the seafaring life. These visions faded when I pursued, for the time, those poets whose visions entranced my soul and lifted it to heaven. I also became a poet, and for 1 year lived in a paradise of my own creation. I imagined that I also might obtain a niche in my temple, names where the names of Homer and Shakespeare are consecrated. You are well acquainted with my failure and how I heavily bore the disappointment. But just at that time, I inherited the fortune of my cousin, and my thoughts were turned to the channel of their earlier bent. 6 years have passed since I resolved on my present undertaking. I can even now remember the hour from which I dedicated myself to the great enterprise. I commenced by in my body to hardship. I accompanied the whale fishers on several expeditions to the North Sea. I voluntarily endured cold, famine, thirst, and the want. I often worked harder than these common sailors during the day and devoted my nights to the study of mathematics, theory of medicine, and those branches of physical science from which a naval adventurer might derive the greatest practical undertaking. Nope, greatest practical advantage. Twice I actually hired myself as a undermate in a Greenland whaler and acquitted myself to admiration. I must own I felt a little proud when my captain offered me the second dig- ding, dig- dignity, the second dignity in the vessel, and entreated me to remain with great earnestness. So valuable he did consider my services. And now, dear Margaret, do I not deserve to accomplish some great purpose? My life might have been passed in luxury, but I preferred glory to the very enticement that wealth placed in my path. Oh, that some encouraging voice would answer in the affirmative. My courage and resolution is firm. My hopes fluctuate, and my spirits often depressed. I am about to proceed on a long, difficult voyage, the emergencies of which will demand all my fortitude. I am required not only to raise the spirits of others, but sometimes to sustain my own when theirs are falling. This is the most favorable period when traveling in Russia. They fly quickly over the snow and sledges. The motion is pleasant and, in my opinion, far more agreeable than the stagecoach. The cold is not excessive if you are wrapped in furs, a dress of which I have already adopted, for there is great difference between walking the deck and remaining seated motionless for hours. There's no exercise preventing for when no exercise prevents the blood from actually freezing the veins. I have no ambition to lose my life on the post road between St. Petersburg. Oh, it is St. Petersburg, just like in Anastasia. This is just like Anastasia. Um, and Archangel. I shall depart for the later town in a fortnight or 3 weeks, and my intention to hire a ship there, which can be done easily by paying the insurance for dinner, and to engage as many sailors as I think necessary among those who are accustomed to the whale fishing. I do not intend to sail until the month of June. And when shall I return? Ah, dear sister, how can I answer this question? If I succeed, many, many months, perhaps years will pass before you and I may meet. If I fail, you will see me again soon, or never. Farewell, my dear, excellent Margaret. Heaven shower thou blessings down on you and save me, that I may again and again testify my gratitude for all your love and affection. Nope, love and kindness. Yeah. Your affectionate brother, R. Walton. Letter 2 to Miss Salesville, Archangel, 28th March 17th. Oh, I have to take my. It is putting my leg to sleep. That's okay. Now I can sit Prissy Crossy Appy Saucy. Bow, 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 bow. Alright, let's see. Letter 2. How slowly the time passes here. I am encompassed as I am by frost and snow. Yet a second step has taken towards my enterprise. I have hired a vessel and am occupied in collecting my sailors. Those whom I have already engaged appear to be men on whom I can depend and are certainly possessed of dauntless courage. But I have one want, which I have never yet to be able to satisfy, the absence of the object of which I now feel is most severe evil. I have no friend, Margaret. Where I am glowing with enthusiasm of success, there will be none to participate in my joy. I am assailed by disappointment. No one will endeavor to sustain me in dejection. I shall commit my thoughts to paper, it is true, but that is a poor medium for communication of feeling. I desire the company of a man who could sympathize with me, whose eyes would reply to mine. Deem me romantic, dear sister, but I bitterly feel the want of a friend. I have no one near me, gentle yet courageous, possessed of a cultivated as well as of a capacious mind. Those tastes like whose tastes are like my own, who prove or amend my plans. How would such a friend repair the faults of your poor brother? But I am too ardent in execution, too impatient of. But it is a still greater evil to me that I am self-educated. For the first 14 years of my life, I ran wild on a common and read nothing but our Uncle Thomas's books of voyages. At that age, I became acquainted with celebrated poets of our own country. But it was only when it had ceased to be in my power to deserve it is most important benefits from which a conviction that I perceived the necessary of becoming acquainted with more legends than that of my native country. Now that I am 28, Where was I? I literally lost my page. Okay, now that I'm 20, you skip this. Huh? There's a man singing opera in my ears. Thank you. Where was I? Now I am 28 and am in reality more illiterate than many schoolboys at 15. Hey, can you check something for me? Can you um scroll up on my audios and make sure that the desktop audio is not off? Okay, good. Because I had it on. Yes. I want
Yeah,
to make
it
sure it's off.
shows.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That's all I needed. I just needed to make sure that none of this music was coming through to the VOD. Now I'm 28 and am in reality more illiterate than many schoolboys of 15. It is true that I have thought more that my daydreams are more extended and magnificent, but they want, as the painters call it, thing. And I greatly need a friend who would have sense not to despise me as romantic and affection enough for me to endeavor to regulate my mind. Well, these are useless complaints. I shall certainly find no friend on the wide ocean, nor even here in Archangel, among merchants and yet some feelings unailed to the dross of human nature, be even in these rugged blossoms. My lieutenant, for instance, a man of wonderful courage and enterprise, he is madly desirous of glory, or rather, to word my phrase more characteristically, of advancement in his profession. An Englishman, and in the midst of national and professional prejudices, unsoftened by cultivation, retains some of the noblest endows of humanity. I first became acquainted with him on board a whale vessel. Finding that he was unemployed in the city, I easily engaged him to assist in my enterprise. Um, the master of the master is a person of excellent disposition and is remarkable in the ship for his gentleness and the mildness of his discipline. This circumstance, added to his well-known integrity and dauntless courage, made me very desirous to engage him. A youth passed in solitude, my best years spent under your gentle and feminine fosterage, was so refined the groundwork has so refined the groundwork of my character that I cannot overcome an intense distaste to the unusual brutality exercised on board ship. I have never believed in it to be necessary, and when I heard of a mariner, I know how to say this word. Give me marine. There we go. Equally noted for his kindness of heart and respect and obedience paid to him by his crew, I felt myself particularly fortunate in being able to secure his services. I heard of him first in rather a romantic matter from a lady who owes him the happiness of her life. Thus briefly in his story, some years ago he loved a young Russian lady of moderate fortune, and having amassed considerable sum in prize money, the father of the girl consented to the match. He saw his mistress once before the destined ceremony, but she was bathed in tears, throwing herself at his feet, entreated him to spare her, confessing at the that she loved another, but he was poor, and that her father would never consent to the. My generous friend reassured her that the suppliant, yeah, and being informed of the name of her lover, instantly abandoned his pursuit. He had already bought a farm with his money, and on which he designated to pass the remainder of his life. But he bestowed the whole on his rival, together with the remains of his prize money to purchase stock, and then himself solicited the young woman's father to consent to the marriage between her and her lover. But the old man decidedly refused, thinking himself bound in honor to his friend, who, when he found the father inexorable, quitted his country, nor returned until he heard his former mistress was married according to her inclusion of the nations. What a noble fellow, you will exclaim. He is so, but he is wholly uneducated. He is as silent as a Turk, and kind of ignorant carelessness attends him, which, while it renders his conduct more astonishing, detracts from the interest and sympathy which otherwise he would command. Yet do not suppose, because I complain a little, or because I can convince a consolation for my toils, which I may never know, that I am wavering in my resolution. Those are as fixated those are as fixated as fate, and my voyage is only now delayed until the weather shall permit my embarkation. Embarkation. The winter has been dreadfully severe, but the spring promises well. It is considered a remarkable early season, so that perhaps I may sail sooner than expected. I shall do nothing rashly. You know me sufficiently to confide in my prudence and considerates whenever the safety of others is committed to my care. Cannot describe to you my sensations on the near prospect of my undertaking. It is impossible to communicate to you a conception of the trembling sensation, half pleasurable and half fearful, which I am preparing to depart in with which I am preparing to depart. I am going to unexplored regions, to the land of mist and snow, but I shall kill no albatross. Therefore, I do not be alarmed for my safety, or if I should come back to you as worn and woeful as the ancient marine. You will smile with my illusion, and I will disclose a secret. I have often attributed my attachments to my passionate enthusiasm for the dangerous mysteries of to that production of the most imaginative of modern poets. There is something at work in my soul which I do not understand. I am practically industrious, painstaking a workman to execute with perseverance and labor. But besides this, there is a love for the marvelous, a belief in the marvelous, intertwined in all my projects, which hurries me out of the common pathways of man into the wild sea, visible in universal nope you what you un oh unvisited regions I am about to explore. But to return to dear considerations, shall I meet you again after having traversed immense sea and return by the most southern cape of Africa or America? I dare not expect such success, yet I cannot bear to look on the reverse of the picture. Continue for the present to write me by every opportunity. I may receive your letters on some occasions when I need them most to support my spirits. I love you very tenderly. Remember me with affection should you never hear from me again. Your brother, Robert Walton. I need water. Chug, chug, chug. I can't chug. Finished. Chugged. That water tasted like peas. Peas? Yeah, like green peas.
I thought you were just gonna say.
No, it tasted like green peas. Like
I
green,
didn't even know.
like green beans. Did you know that you can actually like when people say that like things taste the way that they smell is because you have taste buds in your nose? So when the scent is traveling like from like through your nose where the like smell receptors are, there's actually taste as well. So that's a disgusting fact to know. Do, 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 do. This song is yeah, it's a song that's playing. It is the best. Like this is every girl's dream to dance a ballroom. I was trying to say masquerade. To this song. I think it would be fun. What? Oh, are you failing?
Just this one. I get.
Oh, I see you. Yeah.
Fine, but I'm not.
Oh yeah, I see
wanna
what's happening.
I know I can do.
Twitch Drops is trying to say that you can gift subscriptions to my channel for things, but you literally can't.
You can't.
Physically cannot.
Yeah.
Sorry to break it to you. Maybe at some point. But not right now. Alright. Letter 3. Miss Saville. Get it? Or did you quit? Ooh. Oh, I see what happened. Oh, yeah. I can see it late. So I'm watching what's happening late. Miss Seville, England, July 7th, 17 blank. I have to sneeze. I don't think it's dear sister, I write a few lines in haste to say that I am safe and well advanced on my voyage. This letter will reach England by a merchantman on its homeward voyage from Archangel. Archangel. I love my good friend Archangel. Um from Archangel. More fortunate than I, who may not see my native land perhaps for many years. I am, however, in good spirits. My men are bold and apparently firm of purpose, nor do the floating sheets of ice that continuously pass us, indicating danger. Men are bold and apparently firm purpose, nor do the floating sheets of ice that continuously pass us, indicating the danger of the region towards which we are advancing, appear to dismay them. There we go. We have already reached a very high latitude, but it is the height of summer. Although not so warm is nope, but although not so warm uh, as in England. The southern gales which blow us speedily towards those shores which I so adherently desire to attain, breathe a degree of renovating warmth which I have not expected. No incidents have hitherto befallen us that would make a figure in a letter. One or two stiff gales and the springing of a leak are accidents which experienced navigators scarcely remember to record. And I shall be well content if nothing worse happen to us during our voyage. Adieu, my dear Margaret. Be assured that for my own sake, as well as yours, I will not rashly encounter danger. I will be cool, persevering, and prudent. But success shall crown my endeavors. Wherefore not? Thus far I have gone, tracing a secure way over the pathless sea, the very stars themselves being witness and testimonies of my triumph. Why not still proceed over the untamed yet obedient element? What can stop the determined heart and resolved will of man? My swelling heart involuntarily pours itself out thus. but I must finish. Heaven bless my beloved sister, R.W. Letter 4. Miss Seville, England. August 5th, 17 blank. So strange an accident has happened to us that I cannot forbear recording it. Although it is very probable that you will see me before these papers can come into your possession. Last Monday, July 31st, we were nearly surrounded by ice, when closed in the ships on all which closed in the ship on all sides, scarcely leaving her the sea room which floated. Our situation by some was dangerous, especially when we com- compassed or compassed round by a very thick fog. We accordingly lay to, hoping that some change would be place in atmosphere and weather. About 2 o'clock, the mist cleared way, and we beheld, stretched out in every direction, vast and irregular plains of ice, which seemed to have no end. Some of my comrades groaned, and my own mind began to grow watchful with anxious thoughts, when a strange sight suddenly attracted our attention and diverted our solicitude from our own situation. We perceived a low carriage, fixed on a sledge and drawn by dogs, pass on the north at the distance of a half a mile, and began a being which had the shape of a man, had apparently of gigantic stature, sat in the sledge and guided the dogs. We watched the rapid progress of the traveler with our telescopes until he was lost among the distant inequalities of the ice. This appearance excited our unqualified wonder. We were, as we believed, many hundred miles from any land, but this apparition seemed to denote that it was not, in reality, so distant as we had supposed. Shut in, however, by the ice, it was impossible to follow his tracks, which we had observed with the greatest attention. About 2 hours after this occurrence, we heard the ground seek, and before the night the ice broke and freed our ship. We, however, lay to until the morning, fearing the encounter in the dark, those large loose masses which float about after the breaking of the ice. I'm gonna take my glasses off. Let's see. Whew. My poor eyeballs. All again. That's fun. 8:30? Wow. Oh, I just wiped half my makeup off. It's okay. You can't see it anyways. Where was I?
Love with no brim.
Huh?
Brim.
Love with no brim. Love with no brim would be no bangs, no glasses. That's like me if you took my Minecraft hat off. No brim. Love with no brim. Let's see. About 2 hours after this occurrence, blah blah blah. Yeah. In the morning, however, as soon as it was light, we went upon the deck and found all the sailors busy on one side of the vessel, apparently talking to someone in the sea. It was, in fact, a sledge, like we had seen before, which had drifted towards us in the night on a large fragment of ice. Only one dog remained alive, but there was a human being within it whom the sailors were persuading to enter the vessel. He was not, as the other travelers seemed to be, a savage inhabitant of some undiscovered island, but a European. When I appeared on the deck, the master said, "Here is our captain. He will not allow you to perish on the open sea." On perceiving me, the stranger addressed me in English, although with a foreign accent. Um, Before I come on board your vessel, said he, will you have the kindness to inform me whether you are bound? You may convince my astonishment on hearing such a question addressed to me from a man on the brink of destruction, and whom I would have supposed that my vessel would have been a resource which he could not have exchanged for the most precious wealth on earth could afford. I replied, however, that we were whither you are bound. Oh, where you are headed, not Not are you bound as in like are you held captive. I can read. Um I replied, however, that we were on a voyage of the Discovery towards the Northern Pole. Upon hearing this, he appeared satisfied and consented to come aboard. Good God, Margaret, if you had seen the man who thus capitulated for his safety, your surprise would have been boundless. His limbs were nearly frozen, his body dreadfully emaciated by fatigue and suffering. I'd never seen a man in so wretched a condition. We attempted to carry him into the cabin, but as soon as he quitted the fresh air, he fainted. We accordingly brought him back to the deck and restored him to animation by rubbing him with brandy and forcing him to swallow in small quantity. As soon as he showed signs of life, we wrapped him up in blankets and placed him near the chimney of the kitchen stove. By slow degrees, he recovered and ate a little soup, which restored him wonderfully. 2 days passed in this manner before he was able to speak. I often feared his sufferings had deprived him of misunderstanding. When he had in some measure recovered, I removed him to my own I removed him to my own cabin and attended on him as much my duty would permit. I never saw a more interesting creature. His eyes have generally an expression of wildness and even madness, but there are moments when, if anyone performs an act of kindness towards him, or does him any the most trifling service, his whole countenance is lighted up, as it were, with a beam of benevolence and that I never saw equaled. But he is generally melancholy, despairing, and sometimes he gnashes his as if impatient of the weight of his woes that oppress him. When my guest had a little recovered, I had great troubles to keep off the men, who wished to ask him 1,000 questions. I would not allow him to be tormented by their idle curiosity in a state and mind whose restorations evidently depended on entire repose. Dreamer, Dreamer Love My Dogs is the best reading. Yeah, I'm really, really good at reading. I don't know why you would think that I'm not good at reading. However, the lieutenant asked him why he had come so far upon the ice in so strange a vehicle. His countenance instantly assumed an aspect of the deepest gloom, and he replied, "To seek the one who fled from me." "And the man whom you pursued traveled in the same fashion?" "Yes." "Then I fancy we have seen him, for the day before we picked you up we saw some dogs drawing a sledge, which with a man in it across the ice." This aroused the stranger's attention, and he asked a multitude of questions concerning the route in which the demon, as he called him, had pursued. Soon after, when he was alone with me, he said, I have, doubtless, excited your curiosity, as well as that of these good people, but you are too considerate to make queries. Certainly it would indeed be very impertinent and inhumane of me to trouble you with any inquisitiveness of mine. And yet you have rescued me from strange and perilous situations. You have benevolently restored me to life. Soon after this, he inquired if I thought the breaking up of the ice had destroyed the other sledge. I replied that I could not answer with any degree of certainty, for the ice had not broken till near midnight, and the traveler might have arrived at a place of safety before that time. But of this I could not judge. From this time, a new spirit of life animated the decaying frame of the stranger. He manifested the greatest eagerness to be upon the deck to watch for the sledge which had appeared. I persuaded him to remain in the cabin, for he was far too weak to sustain the rawness of the atmosphere. I have promised that someone should watch for him and give him the instant notice of any new objects should appear in sight. Such is my journal of what relates to the strange occurrences up to the present day. The stranger has gradually improved in health, but is very silent and appears uneasy when anyone except myself enters the cabin. Yet his manners are so inconciliating and gentle that the sailors are all interested in him. although they have had very little communication with him. For my own part, I begin to love him as a brother, and his constant and deep grief fills me with sympathy and compassion. He must have been a noble creature in his better days, being even now in wreck so attractive and amenable. Um, I said in one of my letters, dear Margaret, that I should find no friend on the wide ocean. Yet I have found a man who, before his spirit had been broken by misery, I should have been happy to have possessed as a brother of my heart. I shall continue my journal concerning the stranger at intervals, should I have any fresh incidents to record. August 13th, 17 blank. My affection for my guest increases every day. He excites at once my admiration and my pity to an astonishing degree. How can I see so noble a creature destroyed by misery without feeling the most poignant grief? Poignant, not pungent. He is so gentle yet so wise. He is so cultivated, and when he speaks, although his words are culled with the choicest art, yet they flow with rapidly and unparalleled eloquence. He is now much recovered from his illness, and is continually on the deck, apparently watching for the sledge that preceded his own. Yet, although unhappy, he is not utterly occupied by his own misery, but he interests himself deeply in the projects of others. He has frequently conversed with me on mine, and I have communicated with him to him without disguise. He entered attentively to all my arguments in favor of my eventual success, and to every minute detail of measurements I have taken to secure it. I was easily led by the sympathy which he evinced, to use the language of my heart, to give utterance to the burning ardor of my soul, and to say with all fervor that warmed me, how gladly I would sacrifice my fortune, my existence, my every hope, to the furtherance of my enterprise. I'm really good at reading, except for when the words stop at the edge of the page and then go down to the other page. And then I can't tell what the word is supposed to be. Parkour. What level are you on? Pop off. Pop off. I'm watching. Yeah. You're on 4. That's crazy. I would never do. Let's see, what chapter am I on? I haven't even gotten to chapter 1 yet. We're still in the letters. I think there's only one letter. No, there's this letter and then one more. Furtherance of my enterprise. One man's life or death were but a small price to pay for the acquirement of the knowledge which I sought, for the dominion I should acquire and transmit over the elemental foes of our race. As I spoke, a dark gloom spread over my listener's countenance. As I perceived, he tried to suppress his emotion, placed his hands before his eyes, and my voice quivered and failed me as I beheld tears trickle fast from between his fingers. A groan burst from his heaving chest. I paused at length as he what? The circle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super fun. Have fun. I would not want to do that. There you go. Yeah, I'm watching it. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're. Yeah, that's super hard because it's the bonk bonk and. Oh, that one's really. How are you supposed to do that? Because isn't that a 4 block jump between the gray and the next platform?
If the white.
Yeah.
need to go on the edge of the here when this.
Oh. Oh, I see what you have to do, yeah. Well, have fun. I'm going back to reading. I paused. At length he spoke in broken accents. Unhappy man, do you share my madness? Have you drunk also the intoxicating draught? Hear me, let me revel my tale, so you will dash the cup from your lips. Such words you may imagine.
Sorry, I reached the very end. I'm. If you want.
Wait, I want to watch you. Ah, sorry. Pointed laugh. Such words you may imagine strongly excited my curiosity, but the paroxysm of grief had seized the stranger, his weakened powers, and many hours of repose and tranquil conversations were necessary to restore his composure. Having conquered the violence of his feelings, he appeared to despise himself for having been enslaved to his passion, and quelling the dark tyranny of despair, he led me again to converse concerning myself personally. I don't know what is playing, but it is banger. You get it?
Yeah.
Pop off? Oh, I see what you have to do. Oh gosh. Pop off! Alright. He asked me the history of my earlier years. The tale was quickly told, but it awakened various trains of reflection. I spoke of my desire of finding a friend, of my thirst for more infinite sympathy with a fellow mind that had ever fallen my lot, and expressed my conviction that a man could boast of little happiness who did not enjoy this blessing. I agree with you, replied the stranger. We are unfashioned creatures. Okay, hold on. We are unfashioned creatures. You want to know something that really pisses me off about this book? Why didn't Robert ask the stranger his name? Ever? He is constantly referred to as the stranger. I like this man has been on the boat for what, 14 days now? And not once has someone asked about his name? SMH. Okay. Where was I? I agree with you, replied the stranger. We are unfashioned creatures, but half made up. If one wiser, better, dearer than ourselves, such a friend ought to be. Do not lend his aid to perfectionate our weak and faulty natures. I once he needs to keep up the aura of deep and mysterious. I suppose the names don't work with that. You right. You right. He has to be super mysterious and like a the yeah.
Dark and brooding.
Yeah, he needs to be dark and brooding and mysterious. He needs to keep up that what is it is too late for me to try and be forming words. Yes. That vibe. That was the word I was looking for. Such a friend ought to be. Do not lend his aid to perfectionate our weak and faulty natures. We didn't eat dinner. We should probably do that. We'll do that. I once had a friend, the most noble of human creatures, and am entitled, therefore, to judge respecting friendship. You have hope and the world before you, and have no cause for despair, but I have lost everything and cannot begin life anew. As he said this, his countenance became expressive of a calm, settled grief that touched me to the heart. But he was silent, and presently retired to his cabin. Even broken in spirit as he, no one can feel more deeply than he does the beauties of nature, the starry sky, the sea, even the sight afforded by these wonderful regions, still to have the power of elevating his soul from earth. Such a man double double existence. He may suffer misery and overwhelmed by disappointment. Yet when he has retired into himself, he will be like a celestial spirit that has a halo around him. Within those circles no grief or folly ventures. Um will you smile at the enthusiasm I express concerning this divine wanderer? You would not if you saw him. You have been tutored and refined by books and retirement from the world. You are therefore somewhat fastidious. 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 The water tastes like green peas. I don't know why, but
It's room temperature.
room temperature water tastes like green pea. Me neither. I think my other water is also room temperature. I love that I just keep turning more and more in my chair. I started on one side of my chair and now I'm like back up against my whatever this is called, vanity thing. Blah, blah, blah. But this only renders you more fit to appreciate the extraordinary merits of this wonderful man. Sometimes I have endeavored to discover what quality it is he possesses that elevates him so immeasurably above. He is above any other person I ever knew. I believe it to be intuitive discernment, a quick but never failing power of judgment, and penetration into the causes of things, unequaled for clearness and precision, and add to this a faculty of expression and a voice whose varied in, in, intonations are soul seducing music. August 19th, 17. Yesterday, Phantom of the Opera just started playing so loud in my ears. Oh my gosh, that just scared me so bad. As much as I love Phantom of the Opera, could you turn it down? A little bit. Turn it up just slightly. I don't want it to be off on stream side. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yesterday, the stranger said to me, "You may easily perceive, Captain Walton, that I have suffered great and unparalleled misfortunes. I have determined that one time the memory of these evil." Love this song so much. Sorry, I freaking love Phantom of the Opera. It's like one of my favorite musicals to watch ever. I hope you know that when my nephew was like, how old is he now? When he was 4, over COVID, like not Broadway, but like certain musical companies were like showing recorded versions of their musicals, and we watched Phantom of the Opera with him, and he still remembers it to this day and will request to listen to some of the songs sometimes. It's really, really cute. I freaking love this musical. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Unless you don't like themes of stalking. I think that's it. Yeah. Anyways, where was I? Oh, I suffered great and unparalleled misfortunes. I had determined at one time that the memory of these evils should die with me, but you have won me to alter my determination. You seek for knowledge and wisdom, as I once did, and inherently open that the gratifications of your wishes may not be serpent to sting you, as mine have been. I do not know what relation of my disasters will be useful to you yet, when I reflect that you are pursuing the same course, exposing yourself to the same dangers which have rendered me what I am. I imagine that you may deduce an apt moral of my tale, um, one that may direct you if you succeed in your undertaking, and console you in case of failure. Perhaps to hear of occurrences which are usually deemed marvelous. We are among the scenes, tamer of nature. I might fear to encounter your unbelief and perhaps your ridicule. But things but many things will appear possible in these wild and mysterious regions, which would provoke the laughter of those unacquainted with ever varied powers of nature. Nor can I doubt that my tale conveys in which series eternal evidence of the truth of events which is composed. You may easily imagine that I was much gratified by the offered communication, yet I could not endure that he should renew his grief by recital of his misfortunes. I felt the great eagerness to hear the promised narrative, partially from the curiosity and partially from a strong desire to em, ameliorate. Nope, I don't think that's the way that's said. His fate, if it were in my power. Oh my gosh, I have like allergies or something, and it's like making the side of my nose hurt real bad. I also think I might have gotten sunburnt today. Did you get sunburnt today? I think I might have. Face is really hot. I think. Around this.
I mean, I don't know how.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna go. I don't know how I would have gotten sunburnt. Oh, we were out in the sun. What do you mean? Partially from strong desire to ameliorate his fate if it were in my power. I expressed these feelings in my answer. I thank you, he replied, for your sympathy, but it is useless. My faith is already fulfilled. I wait but for one event, and then I shall repose in peace. But I understand your feeling, continued he, perceiving that I wished to interrupt him. But you are mistaken, my friend, if thus you will allow me to name you. Ah, he said friend. Nothing can alter my destiny. Listen to my history, and you will perceive how irrevocably it is determined. Then told me that he would commence his narrative the next day when I should be at leisure. This promise drew from me the warmest thanks. I have resolved. I have resolved every night, when I am not imperatively occupied by my duties, to record as nearly as possible in his own words that he has related during the day. If I should be engaged, I will at least make notes. This manuscript will doubtless afford to you the greatest pleasure, but to me, who will know him, who will hear it from his own lips, will with what interest and sympathy shall I read it in some future day. Future? Fulcher? Where did I get the L from? Even now, as I commence my task, his full-toned voice swells in my ears. His lustrous eyes dwell on sorry. His lustrous eyes dwell on me with all their melancholy sweetness. I see his thin hand raised in animation, while the ligaments of his face are irradiated by the soul within. Strange and harrowing must be his story, frightful the storm which embraced the gallant vessel on its course and wrecked it thus. We're at chapter 1! Oh my gosh. I'm gonna drink more water. I forgot how, like, uh, the word I'm looking. Uh, over an hour straight. Can be. Yes, how straining. Talking for over an hour straight. Because usually when I'm streaming, it's just like I can take little like pauses to listen to music. But when you're reading, you can't do that. Also, freaking, it took me an hour to get through 17 pages. 15?
I'm almost done, but
Not sure chat can hear you.
not to.
Yeah, chat can't hear you. Jules is almost done with 5 out of 6 parkours. You gotta talk louder there, King. Use your outside voice.
I don't wanna.
Saws. You have to.
I'm sleeping.
Okay. Where do we meet? Oh. Yeah. Hey.
Where my shoulders hurt.
Wait. Hold on. Stupid me. Was that Victor? Is the stranger Victor? Yeah, to seek the one who fled me is the man of monsters. I have
The more you.
read the beginning of this book different times. And I just now realized that is fiction. I always thought it was the monster that was on the ship. And I always thought it was weird that the captain was so chill with him.
The more you know.
The more you know. All right, I'm really, really good at this. Because I always thought it was like weird that it's like the monster telling this tale, but then he tells the tale of Victor Frankenstein. What does Bean say? Listen, listen. Okay.
Patronizing love.
This is why I'm reading it out loud.
The more you know.
I don't want to hear about this. No, I don't. Nobody talk about this ever again. Okay. No, I'm so like upset at myself that I didn't realize this sooner. I love Victor Frankenstein. Okay. Oh, I am by birth Genovese. I assume that's what it says. And my family is one of the most distinguished of that republic. My ancestors have been, for many years, counselors and syndics. Yeah. And my father had filled several public situations with honor and reputation. He was respectable by all who knew him for his integrity and indefatigable indefatigable attention to public businesses. He passed his younger days perpetually occupied by the affairs of his country. By the furs of his country, a variety of circumstances had prevented him from marrying early, nor was it until the decline of his life that he became a husband and a father of a family. I'm going to go grab a protein bar. Do you want a snack? What do you want? Yeah, I'm sure we have text messages. Want to come entertain chat or? If you want to, you don't have to. You can...
I need to step away from me.
Okay, yeah, I also need to step away for a second. I also can't see. I don't know where I set my glasses. I'm sitting on them. I was sitting on my glasses. Glad that they're not like broken.
Oh, my legs. I haven't moved.
It moved in an hour
No, not really.
and 17 minutes.
Oh,
You want my headphones? I don't want to listen to I listen to orchestral mansion music.
I mean, maybe, but
We'll call it orchestral mansion. Alright, hold on.
we're switching.
I'm really good at standing up, man. Fires in my words.
Hey guys.
Okay, I'll be right back. Say hi to Jules.
I'm back.
I'm gonna go grab snacks.
I hope you've enjoyed your baby sensory. I'm blaming it on the fact that one, I'm tired, and two, I'm not used to Love's setup because I don't have my computer. I'm on that computer, which is not mine. And Sprint toggle? I don't. And so this whole time I've been using Sprint toggle. See me shifting a bunch, that's me trying to stop myself because I'm not used to it. I mean, hey, I feel like I'm doing pretty good still. But, you know. Good, I'm glad. I'm glad I'm doing great, and I'm glad you love the baby sensory. I don't know what I'm gonna do once I'm done, because clearly, I think... Sounds mean. Clearly. No, I think I'm gonna finish the parkour. I'm pointing at the people. I think I'm gonna finish the parkour before I, you know, before Love finishes. And so I don't know what I'm gonna do. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. I could like continue playing on a server. I could try pull up my server. You can see my server. I don't know how that go though, because so all the stuff that I need, my account. Not all of it, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. I normally play Parkour Warrior on MCC Island, but I could always play something. I don't know what though. Rocket League Rush is really fun, but I'm bad at it. So I don't know. I'm trying to decide. Also, it's messing up. I'm over here now. I keep looking right there. I'm used to being able to look at myself when talking. I look straight in front of me. This is technically in front of me, but it's still straight.
Here's... Right. I mean, he's gonna bring some.
So many snacks.
I have so much food, man.
Thanks. I have my Chex Mix.
Chex Mix, pretzel. I also got sprinkle cookies and chocolate protein bar.
If you watch this VOD back, you're gonna see me when I like finally get a hard one, just me like shake
The
mouse back and forth instead of speaking when I get
That's
excited.
so real.
I'm doing better than I thought I would on the computer.
My computer's not that bad.
No, but I mean like, cause you just bad.
There's like big. It has bad texture. I have another protein bar that's more
Yeah. My eyes are bugging out. Times I've had to stop and like blink like this.
Hi.
Don't like it, don't
Okay, swag. Thank you. Chicken on the Batman plate.
Is it a Batman?
Yeah, it is actually. It's actually a Batman plate. Hold on. Where's chat? Batman plate? It's actually my nephew. I'm not gonna
Don't
spill
worry,
the.
you're gonna. No!
Oh, there's a guy there.
It says an unknown error, but I'm like 90% sure it's because
Yeah, it's probably you were.
That's so annoying.
That is annoying. It's grubbing time.
Well, we're skipping that one, and we're going to the next one.
What is bean saying?
I asked if they liked the
Oh yeah. We love the baby sense
Bean
video.
said yes. Said you're doing great. We love.
It's just like that one time that I tried to actually put baby sense.
No, they didn't.
Which is kind of really entertaining. I have groovy sauce.
Groovy sauce. The eating noises are horrific.
You can't hear it on the mic.
I know, but I can't.
Yeah, what? You eat too. Ah! I'm munching on chicken.
The whole vibe in your head.
I know it's my vampire mansion playlist.
We have two totally different vibes happening. I'm like, I'm
You're like
focused, and you're like,
hardcore MCC.
yeah, you're in your dark academia. I'm Twitch streaming, but I'm not.
Twitch stream. Love Twitch stream.
Figure out you talked if I had my.
Yeah, because if you have your AirPods, then and then you would understand.
Snack mix. It's
Rex mix? Snack mix?
I need to go to bed.
Girl, what's a snack mix?
I don't know. Those candy salads or something.
I feel like those candy salad videos are a waste.
I made a candy salad.
Did you eat it with a bunch? You can't see the face that I just gave.
All of it. I let it for. Did I send you a picture of that? Oh. Yeah, guys, I made a candy salad. It was on my. I have a summer list that I wanted to do. A bunch of
You know what? Pop off.
see if I can find.
I don't know. I just feel like it would. Those massive ones.
Oh yeah, the massive ones. Yeah, if you don't, you're not eating with a large group of people.
Really good.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're having it.
My ruby sauce is spicy.
The way you're. Ruby sauce.
What's it called? It's called groovy sauce.
Oh, but you're my groovy sauce.
Because I'm grooving. I'm grooving. Moving and grooving. Oh, sorry, I ate it.
It is my candy. There it is. Huh?
You put candy salad bag.
I didn't want to like waste a bowl when I knew immediately. I just
Perfect.
bro, Sour Patch Kids watermelon. Good.
Really?
Like them.
I'm not a big fan of them. But it's because I don't really like watermelon. I like watermelon gum.
No. I don't really. You don't want it?
I don't I only eat the little things out of them.
What? Oh, these?
And the pretzels. I literally only wanted the pretzels. Because I thought I was gonna get more pretzels. But I didn't. I have a cookie! Show the cookie. Yeah, cookie! Cookie! Cookie.
You can have this edge. Okay, I'm gonna move so I can scarf this down.
Become a server.
Bye, guys. I'm gonna go eat.
I'm gonna come back and eat my cookie.
I'm also gonna move so you can't.
Yeah, then we've just been looking at people's skins. Which, if you, I always, Minecraft is so weird. Because you just look at people's. I don't like the way that it's worded.
I don't either when you say it like that.
You judge Minecraft players on their skin. I like this shirt. I forgot about it. I found it in my closet. Huh? Space.
Yes, I'm running away.
I'm there. Oh, okay. I was like, why are you moving my head so delicately?
Bye. Bye. Bye.
No more baby sensory. Been unbaby sensory. Oh wait, my headphones. I was like, I feel like it's a lot more quiet than when I normally stream. Maybe because I don't have any noise in my. Make sure no one's. Because I. Oh my sweet. Okay, there we go. Cool. I'm vibing. How's everyone? I totally forgot to ask. How's everyone's day been on a scale of 1 to 10? My day has been a 5, 6. Someone just meowed in Minecraft. I didn't really want to know that. Does /me still work? The like /me, like whatever you're doing, that blah blah did. My finger's all rainbow. You can't see it. But just know that the sprinkles of my sprinkles have melted on. Did I say what number my day was? Yes, I did. It was a 5. Full 5. $5. What was your day on a scale of 1 to 7? I know I did. You did not say that loud enough for chat.
6.
6. That probably just peaks. My laugh probably just peaks. Because I have the mic turned up since my mic is far away from me. You can't see it, but it's like precariously situated slightly off the edge of my vanity because the cord doesn't go farther. Guys, the stream setup today is real scary.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wires and a lot of finagling of pieces to make sure that they don't fall. It's real scary. Alright. Chapter 1. Everyone ready to get back to chaptering, learning about Victor Frankenstein? Everyone's favorite old stupid scientist. I love this guy. Alright. As the circumstances of his marriage illustrate his character, I cannot refrain from relating them. One of his most intimate friends was a merchant who, from a flourishing state, fell through numerous chances into poverty. Property? Property. This man. Oh, we're still talking about his father. I forgot. This man, whose name was Beaufort. Beaufort. Beaufort's a silly name. Yeah. I don't know how to feel about the name. Um, this man, whose name was Beaufort, was of a proud and unbending disposition, and could not bear to live in poverty and oblivion in the same country where he had formerly been distinguished of his rank. And having paid his debts, therefore, in the most honorable manner, he retreated with his daughter to the town of Lawrence. Lucerne. I can't read. Where he lived unknown in wretchedness. My father loved Beaufort, and in the truest friendship was deeply grieved by his retreat in unfortunate circumstances. He bitterly deplored the false pride which led his friend to conduct with so little worthy of the affection that united them. He lost no time in endeavoring to keep him out, and with hope of persuading him to begin the world again through his credit and assistance. Beaufort had taken several effectual measures to conceal himself, and it was 10 months before my father discovered his abode. Overjoyed at this discovery, he hastened to the house, which was situated in a mean street over the Russ. But when he entered, misery and despair alone welcomed him. Beaufort had saved a very small sum of money from the wreck of his fortune, but it was sufficient to provide him with sustenance for some months. In the meantime, he had hoped to procure some respectable employment in a merchant. The interval was consequently spent in inaction. His grief only became more deep, rankling when he had leisure for reflection, and at length it took so fast a hold of his mind. At the end of 3 months, he lay on a bed of sickness, capable of any. His daughter attended him with great tenderness, but she saw with despair that little their fund was rapidly decreasing, and there was no other prospect of support. But Caroline Beaufort possessed of a mind of uncommon mold, and her courage rose to her support in her advisory. She procured plain work. She planted straw, and by various means contrived to earn a pittance scarcely sufficient to support life. Several months passed in this manner. Her father grew worse. Her time was more entirely occupied in her means of subsistence decreased, and within the 10th month her father died in her arms, leaving her an orphan and a beggar. This last blow overcame her, and she knelt by Beaufort's coffin, weeping bitterly. My father entered the chamber. He came like a protect. Why is it organs are playing in my ears now? And it scared me. What is this song? Isn't this a... I feel like there's a...
It's not minor.
Can't... Is it? Minor. This is... There's an audio or something song, because I hear it a lot. But I don't know what it is. Sorry. Where was I? Oh yeah. He came like a protective spirit to the poor girl, who committed herself to his care. After the internment of his friend, he conducted her to Geneva. Isn't Geneva the place in Princess Diaries? Oh, it's Genovia is the place in Princess Diaries. To Geneva and placed her under protection of a relation. 2 years after this event, Caroline became his wife. There was a considerable difference between ages of my parents, but this circumstance seemed to unite them only closer in bond of devoted affection. There was a sense of justice in my father's upright mind which rendered it necessary he should approve highly to love strongly. Perhaps during former years he had suffered from late discovered unworthiness of one beloved, and so was disposed to set a greater value on tide worth. There was a show of gratitude and worship of his attachment to my mother, differing wholly from the dawning fondness of age, for it was inspired by reverence of her virtues and desire to be of, in some degree, recompen- recom her for the sorrows she had endured. But it gave inexpressible grace to his behavior to her. Everything was made to yield to her wishes and her convenience. He strove to shelter her with fair exotic is sheltered by the gardener. Um, from every rougher wind to surround her with all that could tend to excite pleasurable emotion in her soft and benevolent mind. Her health, even the tranquillity of her thereto constant spirit, had been shaken by what she had gone through. During the 2 years that had elapsed previous to their marriage, my father had gradually relinquished all his public functions, and immediately after their reunion, they sought the pleasant climate of Italy and change of scene, an inherent attendant on a tour through the land of wonders, to as a restorative for her weakened frame. From Italy they visited Germany and France. I, their eldest child, was born in Naples. As an infant, accompanied them in their rambles. I remained for several years their only child, as were attached, much as they were attached to one another. They seemed to draw inexhaustible stores of affection from a very mine of love to bestow them upon me. My mother's tender caress and my father's smile of benevolent pleasure were regarded were re- while hold on while regarding me are my first recollections. I was their plaything and their idol, and something better, their child, the innocent and helpless creature bestowed on them by heaven, whom to bring up to good, and whose future lot it was in their hands to direct to happiness or to misery, according as they fulfilled their duties towards me. With their deep consciousness of what they owed towards um, the being to which they had given life, added to the active spirit of tenderness that animated both. It may be imagined that during every hour of my infant life I received a lesson of patience, of charity, and of self control. I was so gilded by a silken cord that it seemed but one train of enjoyment. For long I was in their only care. My mother had much desired to have a daughter, but I continued their single offspring. When I was about 5 years old, while making excursions beyond the frontiers to Italy, they passed a week on the shores of Lake Cosmo. Their benevolent disposition often made them enter cottages. This to my mother was more of a duty. It was a necessity, a passion. Remembering what she had suffered and how she had been relieved for uh, her to act in turn the guardian angel to the afflicted. During one of their walks into a poor cot in the fodlings of a vale attracted their notice, singularly disconcerting. While the number of half-clothed children gathered about, it spoke of in I don't know in its worst shape. One day, when my father had gone by himself to Milan, my mother, accompanied by me, visited the abode. She found a peasant and his wife, hard-working, bent down by care and labor, distributing a sancti meal to 5 hungry babes. Among these was one which attracted my mother far above the rest. She appeared of a different stock. All four others were dark-eyed, hardy little vagrants. This child was thin and very fair. Her hair was the brightest gold, and despite the poverty of her clothing, seemed to be set a crown of distinction on her head. Her brow was clear and ample, and her blue eyes cloudless. Her lips and the molding of her face so expressive a sensibility and sweet, none could behold her without looking on her for of a distinct. being heaven sent and bearing celestial stamp on all her feet. The peasant woman, perceiving that my mother fixed eyes of wonder and admiration on the lovely girl, eagerly communicated her history. She was not their child, but the daughter of a Milanese nobleman. Her mother was German and had died on giving her birth. The infant had been placed on these good people to nurse. They were better off then. They had not long been married, and their eldest child had just been. The father of their charge was one of those Italian nursed in the memory of antique glory of Italy. One among these, something I cannot say, who exerted it not in like a bad way, in like a, it's a different, who exerted himself to obtain the liberty of his country. He became the victim of its weakness. Whether he had died or still lingered in the dungeons of Austria, it was not known. His property was confiscated, and his child became an orphan and a beggar. She continued with her foster parents and bloomed in their rude abode, fairer than garden rose among dark brambles. When my father returned from Milan, he found me in the hall of our villa with a child fairer than a picture cherub, a creature who seemed to shed radiance from her looks, and whose form and motions were lighter than the chasms of the hills. The apparition was soon explained. With his permission, my mother prevailed on her rustic guardians to yield their charge to her. They were fond of the sweet orphan. Her presence seemed to be a blessing to them, but it would be unfair to keep her in poverty and want when Providence afforded her with such protection. They consulted their village priest, and the result was that Elizabeth Lazavin became the intimate of my parents' house, my more than sister, a beautiful and adorned companion of all my occupations and pleasures. Everyone loved Elizabeth. Their passionate and almost reverential attachment with all that regarded her became, while I shared it, my pride and my delight. On the evening previous to her being brought to my home, my mother had said playfully, "I have a pretty present for my Victor. Tomorrow he shall have it." When on the morrow she presented Elizabeth to her promised gift, I, with childish seriousness, interpreted her words literally, and looked upon Elizabeth as mine, mine to protect and love and cherish. All praises bestowed upon her I received as made to a possession of my own. We called each other familiarity by name of cousin. No word, no expression could body forth the kind of relation in which she stood to me. More than my own sister, since till death she was to be mine. Okay, that's a little possessive. Calm down there, bucko. Chapter 2. What time is it? It's 9:30. What time do I need to leave? Okay, sounds good. Go. We were brought up together. There was not quite a year difference in our ages. I need not say we were strangers to any species of disunion. Harmony was the soul of our companionship. What? And the diversity and contrast that subsided in our characters drew us nearer together. Elizabeth was of a calmer and more concentrated disposition, but with all my ardor, I was capable of a more intense application and was more easily smitten with thirst for knowledge. She busied herself with the following of aerial creations of the poets in the majestic and wondrous scenes which surrounded our Swiss, the sublime shapes of the mountains, changes of the seas, distant calm, the silence of winter, and the life and turbulence of our alpine summers. She found ample scope for admiration and delight, while my companion complimented seriousness and satisfied spirit the magnificent appearance of things I delighted while investigating their causes. The world was to me secret, and I desired to divine. Curiosity, earnest research to learn the hidden laws of nature, gladness akin to rapture as they were unfolded to are among the earliest sensations that I can remember. On the birth of a second son, my junior by 7 years, My parents gave up entirely their wandering life and fixed themselves in their native country. We possessed a house in Geneva and a in Belvrin. Belriv. Bel- the eastern shore of a lake, at the distance of rather more than a league from the city. We resided principally in the later, and the lives of my parents were passed in considerable seclusion. It was my temper to avoid a crowd and attach myself fervently to a few. I was indifferent and therefore to my schoolfellows in general, but I united myself in bonds of the closest friendship to one among them. Harry Sir Sil- the was the son of a merchant in Geneva. He was a boy of a singular talent and he loved enterprise, hardship, and even danger for its own sake. He was deeply read in books of chivalry and romance, and he composed heroic songs and began to write many tales of enchanted knightly desire. He tried to make us act plays and enter into masquerades in which the characters were drawn from the heroes of. Oh, dramatic music is playing. Of the heroes of Roncesvalles of the Round Table of Arthur, and chivalrous trains who shed their blood to redeem the holy yep, from the hands of infidels. No man, nope, no human being could have passed a happier childhood than myself. My parents were possessed by a very spirit of kindness. I'm gonna put my glasses up here so I don't lose them. The very spirit of kindness and indulgence. We felt that they were not the tyrants of to rule our lot according to their caprice. Price? I think that's price. But the agents and creators of many delights which we enjoyed. When I mingled with other families, I distinctly discerned how perpetually fortunate my lot was, and gratitude assisted the development of filial love. My temper was somewhat violent and my passions vehement, but by some laws in my temperature they were turned not towards childish pursuits, but to an eager desire to learn, and not to learn all things indiscriminately. I confess that neither the structure of languages, nor the code of governments, nor the politics of various states possessed attractions for me. It was the secret of heaven and earth I desired to learn, whether it was outward substance of all things or the inner spirit of nature and the mysterious soul of man that occupied me. Still, my inquiries were directed to the metaphysical, or in the highest sense, the physical secret of the world. Meanwhile, I'm going to say Henry, because I can't say his last name, occupied himself, so to speak, with moral relations of things. The busy stage of life, the virtues of heroes, the actions of man were his theme. His hopes and dreams was to become one amongst those whose names are recorded in history as the gallant and adventurous benefactors of our species. The saintly soul of Elizabeth shone like a shrine dedicated lamp in our peaceful home. Her sympathy was ours, her smile, her soft voice, sweet glance of her celestial eyes were ever there to bless and animate us. She was the living spirit of love to soften and attract. I might have become sullen in my study, rough through the ardor of my nature, but she was there to subdue me into the semblance of her own gentleness. And Henry could aught ill wretch the noble spirit of Henry. Yet he might not have been so perfectly humane. So here we go. So thoughtful his generosity, so full of kindness, and amidst his passion for adventurous exploit, had she not unfolded to him the real loveliness of beneficence, and made the doing good of end and aim of his soaring ambition. I feel exquisite pleasure in dwelling on the recollections of childhood before misfortune had tainted my mind and changed its bright visions to extensive use of narration, narrow reflections upon self. Besides, in drawing the picture of my early days, I also record those events in which led by insensible steps to my aftertale of misery. For when I would account to myself for the birth of that passion which afterward ruled my destiny, I find it arise, um, like a mountain river, from ignoble and almost forgotten sources, but swelling as it proceeded, it became the torrent which in course was swept away all my hopes and joys. Water break. Hydrate. Hydration. Hydration Nation. Is that a that, like that one? That was not a banger. That was not a hit quip. There's a mark in my book. I didn't put it there. All right. Where were we? Has swept away all my hopes and joys. I feel like I also just keep sliding in my chair. Like I just keep getting lower and lower.
You are.
On screen. Natural philosophy. I'm turning one. Oh, my water bottle! I just about knocked it onto the floor. That would have really, really sucked. Is this comfortable? Let's see if this looks fine on. I can't. Come on. Is your water warm? I mean, it's not like cold. It's like chilled water. I had ice in it, but all the ice is melted now. Also, hi Lime. I'm eating Frankenstein. Jules is here also. Jules is playing Minecraft. Jules. That's the Jules cam. Where is it? Somewhere. I can't actually see myself like in live time, so it's somewhere. Wait, over there, right there. Yeah, really good at this game. I'm reading Frankenstein. We're almost to chapter 3, which I haven't read yet. OMG, I love Frankenstein and Jules. So true, I do too. This is my first time like actually reading it. I've listened to a audiobook of it, but it was a while ago and I didn't ever finish. And then of course I've listened to the musical. I've listened to the musical a lot of times. ABD Illustrates, I think, does this series called like it's like excuse me. He like during Halloween season draws a bunch of like spooky musical art like Beetlejuice and Little Shop of Horrors and the Frankenstein musical. And he drew a drawing of the Frankenstein musical and I saw that and I went, that's really freaking cool. And then I went and listened to the whole musical a bunch of times. Like literally I think on loop for like 4 days straight. I read it a while ago and loved it. I'm enjoying it. I am having a great time and I'm reading so well. Let's see, where was we? Where I was. It is almost 10 o'clock. It is almost 10 o'clock. I've been up. Ooh, we're shaking hands. When I okay, natural philosophy. Wait, where was I? I was swept away all my hopes and joys. Natural philosophy is the genius that has regulated my fate. I desire, therefore, in this narration to state those facts which led to my predilection for that science. When I was 13 years of age, we all went to a party of pleasure to the baths near Thonon. Thonon. That's the name of the place. The inclement of the weather obliged us to remain a day confined to the inn. In this house, I had the chance to find a volume of the works of Cornelius Agrippa. Cornelius Agrippa is a insane name, by the way. Could you imagine being called Cornelius Agrippa?
No.
Sorry.
It.
I'm gonna bully this person. I opened it with apathy. The theories which he attempts to demonstrate and the wondrous facts which he relates soon changed this to find feeling into enthusiasm. A new light seemed to dawn upon my mind, and bounding with joy, I communicated my discovery to my father. My father looked carelessly at the title of the book and said, "Ah, Cornelius Agrippa. Cannot, seriously say his name. My dear Victor, do not waste your time upon this. It is sad trash." I think I disown my parents for that last name. It's crazy. Also, I really like the idea of when was this published? Hold on. 1965. That in approximately 1940 something. Did you just say you to sad trash?
That's funny.
That's wild.
Trash equals you.
I have to be honest, I was gonna say that, but then I was thinking about the fact, I was genuinely gonna be like, hey, that's how they describe my content. But
Oh.
then I was thinking about the fact that how this would have been said in 1942 or something. Could you imagine someone being like, "Oh yeah, that's just sad trash" in 1942? I feel like there was wait, no. Yeah, 19.
Of course.
This was not written in. When was this written? I think Frankenstein was written earlier. In 18. Wait. This I thought it was written earlier. I would personally be honored to be dubbed as sad trash. That's understandable. I just think I think that's a silly way to, talk about something. You go, ah, yes, look at that sad trash. I'm gonna start calling things sad trash now. Let's see. It is sad trash. If instead of this remark, my father had taken the pains to explain to me that the principles of Agrippa. I need to give that guy a new name. Because I'm not going to be able to read this seriously if I have to say Agrippa one more time.
Get Agrippa.
Get Agrippa, it's crazy!
Sorry, I had to.
That was a good one. That was quick.
Thanks.
You were fast with it. All right, let's see.
Proud of that one.
Huh?
I'm proud of that one.
That was a good one. I
Get Agrippa, come on. Read fast.
I should certainly have thrown Mr. Gripman aside and have accepted
Uh-huh.
my imagination warmed as it was by returning with greater ardor. I don't know what ardor. Ardor? What does ardor mean?
Ardor?
Google. It's ARDOUR.
Adore.
Adore? What is adore?
Like a
With
thing.
greater ardor to my former studies.
With greater.
Like it a lot.
Yeah.
Adoration? Is it the shortened version of adornment or adoration? There's ghost noises in my ears. They're going ghost noises.
Do I? There.
There.
This.
Hold on 2 seconds and I'll be able to tell you. I just have to get there first. I have to get there from my POV first. Are you stop moving? There's glass.
Yeah, but
Oh, I see what the problem is. Go to the ladder. I think you go to the ladder.
okay.
Um, with greater ardor to my former studies, it is even possible that the train of my ideas would never have received the fatal impulse that led to my ruin. What?
Is it being?
Enthusiasm or passion, according to Google. Is that the MCC parkour? Yeah, it's MCCI. Jules is playing MCCI. It's the baby sensory video for you guys while I read so that you don't get you don't lose uh, patience. I recognize it from Nikki's practice stream. Yeah,
Mhm.
we're playing MCCI. I'm actually not playing anything. I'm reading Frankenstein. Sir Isaac Newton, that guy's in the Magnus Archives. He is mentioned in the Magnus Archives. He's also mentioned on a Rambo stream when Rambo was talking about how funny it would be if just like one day gravity just like stopped working. Like if every year they like had a like yearly apple drop test to figure out if gravity was still like working the way it always does. Yeah, like it was still cooking. And then for like 15 minutes they were laughing over the fact of like, what if it just went up? What if it would just whoop? And then like they just kept going whoop. It was really funny. But yeah, I like the idea that scientists have a yearly apple drop test where they make sure that gravity is still cooking. Where was I? What? Calm down.
I hate
Use
this.
your words.
I hate this.
Oh, okay. Stop. I'm proud of you. Use your words. I love that there's just like a one-sided conversation going on. This chat can't hear you. I need to figure out how to do two mics. I'll figure it out eventually. I probably need like a splitter. I need a mic splitter is probably what I'm gonna have to get. You know, something that I can plug to. Yeah.
I'm talking.
Yeah.
That's not enough.
Uh,
It was then.
oh,
It is.
yeah, no.
What was?
You just gotta talk a little bit louder. Or else it probably thinks your background noise.
That's mean.
The cursory glance at my father had taken of my volume. Now I'm British. By no means assured me that he was acquainted with its contents, and I continued to read with greatest avidity. When I returned home, my brain now is telling me to read it in a British accent, and I'm having to force it to speak normally. Does that make sense? Yeah.
I can't. It's not letting me use it.
Yep. You're trapped. Lost. You're gonna be there forever and ever and ever. I think you now have to be British. My brain has decided that I have to read Frankenstein in a British accent. I think it's because of all the big words. See, where was I? When I returned home, my first care was to procure the works of this author, and afterwards of Pericles and Albertus Magnus. Magnus! Sorry.
Calm down.
I love the Magnus Archives! I read and studied the wildest fancies of these writers with delight. They appeared to me treasures known to few besides myself. I have described myself as always having the imbued with fervent longing to penetrate and the secrets of nature. In spite of the intense labor and wonderful discoveries of modern philosophers, I always come back to my studies discontented and unsatisfied. Sir Isaac Newton to have avowed that he felt like a child picking up shells beside the great and unexplored ocean of truth. Those of his successors in each branch of natural philosophy, in with whom I was acquainted, appeared, even to my boyish apprehensions, as tyros engaged in the same pursuit. Trios. Tired. Yep. Um, the untaught peasant beheld the elements around him and was acquainted with their practical uses. The most learned philosopher knew little more. He had partially unveiled the face of nature, but her immortal lineaments were still a wonder and a mystery. He might dissect, automatize, and give names, but not to speak of final causes in their secondary and tertiary grades, were ultimately unknown to him. I had gazed upon the fortifications and impediments that nature to keep human beings from entering the citadels of nature and rashly ignorantly had repent. Um, but here were books, and here were men who had penetrated deeper and knew more. I took their word for all that they averred and became their disciple. Uh, how? This is the last course, right? Do you want to get to the end of chapter 3 and then we say we come back to this a different time, or I can come back to this? This is almost 10. Okay.
Because I can't. I really can't. I
Uh,
don't want to do this one.
Can you not just hop backwards? Oh, can't just die? Yikes. It glitched? That really sucks. Alright, well, we'll get to the end of this chapter and you can finish that course.
Well, I'm gonna leave.
Oh, you're gonna leave that course? Okay, then never mind. You can do whatever you want, King.
So you get to the end of it. I'll just stall.
Okay.
Yeah, the little scroll thing bring me back, but right clicking it is supposed to fit, but it just wouldn't. It wouldn't work.
Yeah, so it just was glitched real bad.
Yes.
That really sucks.
I was almost at the end.
That really sucks. Alright, let's see. I had gazed upon the fortifications and in. Wait, what? Yeah, tertiary grades were unknown to him. I had gazed upon. Oh, yeah, I had become their disciple. It may appear strange that I should arise in the 18th century, but while I followed the routine of education in the schools of Geneva, um, I was to a degree self taught with regard to my favorite studies. My father was not scientific, and I was left to struggle with a child's blindness. Add to that a student's thirst for knowledge. Under the guidance of my new predecessors, I entered with the greatest diligence into the search of the philosopher's stone and the elixir of life. but the latter soon obtained was my undivided attention. This is a banger song as well. I like the noises. Um, well, I love a good organ, I think is what it is. You know? I love a good dee 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 dee, but then the low doom. I would love to be an organ player. That would be so much fun. Yes. Wealth was an inferior object, but what glory could attend the discovery if I could banish disease from the human frame and render a man invulnerable to any but a violent death? Nor were these my only visions. The raising of ghosts or devils with the promise of liberality accorded to my favorite of authors, the fulfillment of which I most eagerly sought, and if my incantations were always unsuccessful, I attributed the failure rather to my own inexperience and mistake than to a want of skill or fidelity in my instruction. And thus, for a time, I was occupied by exploded systems mingling like an unadept in unadept a thousand contradictory theories and floundering desperately in the very slough of multifarious knowledge, guided by an ardent imagination and childish reasoning, till an accident again changed the current of my ideas. When I was about 15 years old, we had retired to our house near Belrive when we witnessed the most violent and terrible thunderstorm. It advanced from behind. Was that an explosion I just heard? Oh, I just heard an explosion. Um, it advanced from behind the mountains of Jura, and the thunder burst at once with frightful loudness from various quarters of the heavens. I remained while the storm lasted, watching its progress with curiosity and delight. As I stood at the door, on a sudden I behold a stream of fire issue from an old house and a beautiful oak which stood about 20 yards from our house. And so was the dazzling light vanished. The oak had disappeared, and nothing remained but a blasted stump. When we visited the next morning, we found the tree shattered in a singular manner. It was not splintered by the shock, but entirely reduced to thin ribbons of wood, and I had never beheld something so utterly destroyed. Before this, I had not unadequated with more obvious laws of electricity. On this occasion, a man of great research in natural philosophy was with us, and excited by this catastrophe, he entered on the explanation of a theory in which he had informed on the subject of electricity and galvanism, which was once new and astonishing to me. All he threw greatly into the shade all that he said threw greatly into the shade Cornelius Agrippa, Albertus Magnus, Paracelsus, the lords of my imagination. But by some fa- fatality, the overthrown of these men declined me to pursue my accustomed studies. It seemed to me as if nothing could ever be known. All that was so long engaged, my attention suddenly grew despicable by one of those caprices. Caprices? Artifices? Um, by one of those caprices. That's not what it says. Caprices. Capri Sun. Yep. By one of those Capri Suns of the mind, which we are perhaps one of most subject to in early youth. I at once gave up my former occupations, set down natural history and all its progeny as a deformed and abortive creation, and entertained the greatest disdain for a would-be science which could never even within the threshold of real knowledge. In this mood of mind, I betook myself to mathematics, and in branches of study appertaining to that science as being built upon secure foundation, and so worthy of my consideration, thus strangely are souls constructed, and by sight ligaments are bound to prosperity or ruin. When I look back, it seems to me as if almost miraculous change of inclination and will was the immediate suggestion of the guardian angel of my life. This last effort made by the spirit of preservation to avert the storm that had even the hanging of the stars and ready to wait, that had even then hanging in the stars and ready to envelop me. Her victory was announced by unusual tranquillity and gladness of soul, which followed the relinquishing of my ancient and latterly tormenting studies. In was thus that I was to be taught to associate evil with their prosecution, happiness with their disregard. It was a strong effect of the spirits of good, but it was ineffectual. Destiny was too potent, and her immutable laws had decreed my utter and terrible destruction. Chapter. How we just read chapter? We just read chapter 3. Was that only chapter 2? Are you kidding me? That was only chapter 2. I thought that was chapter 3. This is a very slow read. I'm surprised by how slow this book reads. Like, usually when I read books, I read them really, really fast.
Joy also read.
I am also reading out loud, which I'm actually having to, like, pay attention to saying. Because usually when I'm reading, I just, like, autofill words. Does that make sense? Like, when I'm reading, I only read the, like, first half of the word, and then I, like, autofill the rest of it in. What are you doing?
I'm just running around.
Just running around.
Yeah,
Having a
I'm
great
good.
time. Oh. I've never played to get to the other.
It's fun, but it's
Yeah, that makes sense. Anyways, was that fun, everyone? You have fun? I like reading my books. Art. And I always have a hard time reading like Frankenstein books like that because it is big words.
yeah.
Big words. You have fun with your parkour?
Until the two. It's halves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
One where it backtracked me, and the other time where it didn't work. I was so close to finishing all of it.
Yeah. Well, we'll just say that you did finish it.
I
You
did
love
it.
Time with Love. Story time.
Story time.
I want to do this again. This was really fun. You don't have to be here, but I'm gonna read again at some point. There just won't be a baby sensory video next time. You're gonna have to deal with just me. That's it.
No more me.
No more
No more baby sensory.
no more baby sensory video. No more this. Where is it? Right here. You should have me over, I'll be the sensory video. You can be the baby sensory video. We'll like we'll oh, I have Sims. I don't have any
It's Stardew.
I have Stardew Valley. You can play Stardew Valley or completely unmodded Sims. Because I don't play with mods. I have Sims, and I think I've played it exactly once.
I've
Yeah, I
Me
think
too.
I've only played it once.
I got it when I didn't even have my new computer.
Sims.
I'm just gonna download mods on my
Shopping.
mod shopping stream. You're gonna give me a virus. You're gonna download a virus on my.
You want baby sensory have a virus. Yay!
You're gonna corrupt my entire stream. Do you want to come over here? Or do you want to sit there? Here. Oh jeez. Oh no. We're back. Hi chat. Did you hear the Big Bang? Oh, is my camera
Camera went too.
My camera crashed. That was it literally it
You
really
can see the window.
you can see the window of my Panda. It really said, "Screw you guys. I'm gonna keel over and die now."
That was so.
Oh my gosh.
That's horrific, though. We just slowly watched it fall.
I'm so glad this didn't break.
You went, oh no! And then...
I literally, I don't even know what just happened. I don't know what.
I didn't touch anything.
I didn't touch anything either. I think the.
How did you see it? You went, oh no! And then
The camera went out. I saw the camera go out, and then I like look over, and my microphone is fallen on the floor.
that was bad.
And like everything's falling out of everywhere. Where did this even come from? It was over here, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh. The mic fell, and there's like there's a track.
Yeah, so
there's
my
a
mic
hole, and
my
it's
mic hold on, where was it? My mic was like here. So I had, okay, this is really precarious, but I had it like this. Hello? Hello? Hello?
It's just so.
Oh,
Look, I'm not there.
well, I know. Wait, what the? Oh, guys, I think my phone broke. I think we broke it. Oh, fudge. I think we broke it real good. Hold on, if I do this, is it gonna?
Did they hear us?
Yeah,
Okay.
the mic is back on. Okay, here we go. Oh, I'm upside down. Hey.
It's been an adventure.
Yay. You can't see you. Yeah, the setup is like terrible. It's like, and then I had like my trash can down here, and I had like I have portable charger on my trash. Oh, you can see my Lemay plug, and it was like I had like a portable charger on my trash can, so my phone didn't die, and my phone was on like 10%.
Imagine like a house of cards, then putting a heavy mic on top of it. That's what this was.
Yeah,
It was on top of this.
It was on top of the popcorn bucket.
Bucket. It's not even that big, by the way. Like,
What does that say? Yeah, compared to the microphone, it's the same size as the microphone. And then the microphone fell over and it knocked my foxbowl onto the.
and that's why you. If you,
my foxbowl.
we don't even know if you
Look
heard
how cute
it.
it
But
is.
it's
It has a
just
little tail.
you see a bunch of metal falling. It sounded like something broke. It didn't.
What a bean say. I'm surprised it didn't break sooner as soon as the sun got.
I'm honestly surprised it didn't break sooner either.
I know. I'm really surprised that like it actually lasted the whole. How long have we been live?
And like this is
2 hours and 30
this is
minutes.
right at the end, so thankfully we're not trying to.
Yeah.
set
So
it back up
thankfully
again.
we're leaving now. We're gonna leave you with that. What do you think, chat?
You like the stream?
Where are you? There you are.
Sunglasses.
I have no depth perception.
This was
Yeah!
a stream and a half.
Yeah!
It started with MCC and then it went over into real life.
I know, it's like... I know how to hold a camera real good, but I'm trying not to, like, pick up my... I have a... charge block, whatever it's called.
I wish you could have seen our reactions as it just stumbled.
Yeah, I really wish that the mic hadn't also come out. Yeah, my microphone, like, unplugged itself. It, like, keeled over and died as well.
As to say, so the mic fell over, it unplugged, and it knocked the bowl over with the trash over, and that turned off.
Yeah, and the microphone turned off. Everything died all at once. That was really crazy.
And we both just stood there like this.
Yeah, and then my dad just like opened the door.
I'm like, it's fine.
He was like,
like nothing broken, but it sounded like something broke.
yeah, it sounded like something broke. Also, look at this little fox bowling pin I have. Do you not appreciate my fox bowling pin?
This is explaining us what happened. Like, here's a bowling.
By the way,
pin.
here's a bowling pin.
That was crazy.
That was crazy. We're gonna leave now.
Anyway,
we're gonna go. I'm gonna see if there's anyone we can raid into. I'm gonna move. This is gonna be a really, really bad angle. There we go. There's my face.
oh my gosh. Can't see. I
Okay.
don't know which side I'm gonna be on.
Hold on. You can move the things. We don't need them.
There's
anymore.
cords everywhere.
I know. Get rid of them. We don't need them anymore. We don't need them anymore. We don't need them. We don't. We.
Anyway. Hey guys.
Hey. Hey, besties. Oh, it's behind us. Oh, GG Brox. Cool. Alright, I know who we're gonna raid into because I freaking love their artwork all the time, 24/7. Obsessed with it. Alright, boys. And my fellows. Give me my headphones real quick.
There.
Thank you. Alright, everyone. I need all of you to have a...
It's connected to the mic.
Hold on, I'm really, really good at this. Alright, everyone have a... Oh, jeez. Have a swell and amazing and super incredible evening. Meow! Hey! We're actually just raiding, because the entire stream fell apart. This is Jules, by the way, if you've never seen her before. We're gonna... Yeah, everything just crashed and died. I'm so sorry, you just got here and we're ending. I'm so sorry. We're gonna do this. Howdy! Hey! Automod hated that word. Alright, I'll be live Friday, but later Friday because I close again. This is so loud. GG Braxis is in my ears. Yeah, so we're gonna go raid. Wait, where did it go? Okay, we're gonna go raid Abraxas. Say hello. Give him love. They're a really, really cool artist. I'll be live Friday. And if I'm not live Friday, then I'll find some other time. Bye, guys. Bye. 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 Please let me. Please let me. Please. Bye.